Coming to you live and direct, another episode of SVG's in the W. We have another component, one from the Dirty South. We have one from the Atlanta Dream. We have Matt Heuer. He's the creative director with the Dream, also with 3 Point Productions. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But Matt, how you doing, sir? And how's the season going for you so far?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. The Atlanta Dream season's, it's off and running. We just got a good win last night against the Liberty. So things are kind of turning around for us. We're almost hitting the All-Star break here, kind of Olympic break as well. So we get a couple more wins and hopefully we can jump back into the second half of the season with some good momentum.
2020 felt like 5 years, and now it feels like 2021 is flying by. We're already, like you said, at the All-Star break almost and the Olympic break. So I think we're almost halfway through the year, which is kind of incredible to say. But it's been flying by. But thank you for coming. It's a privilege to have another WNBA team on the program. So I alluded it enough. You're with 3 Point Productions. Tell us a little bit about what 3 Point Productions are, who they are, and how they're related to the Dream. And I know you're also affiliated with a couple of other teams in the league.
So 3 Point Productions is a sports and live entertainment company that me and my partner Pat Walker co-founded about 9 years ago. We've had a rich history in the WNBA even prior to that. Both of us worked for the Sonics and Storm. After the Sonics moved to Oklahoma City, I actually stayed with the Storm for a couple more years. Pat kind of mentored me in that role of the director role. Took over kind of the events entertainment, was working with the Storm. Up until we started this company, again, like 9 years ago, stayed with the Storm, kept producing their home games as kind of like a third-party vendor. Right. And just kind of through our relationship with the NBA and WNBA, we've been introduced to several other teams. We've done consulting with the Phoenix Mercury. 2019, we actually produced the New York Liberty home games. And then in 2018, we started working with the Aces in Las Vegas as they made their move from San Antonio. So we've been with them, it's like our fourth season, I think, with the Aces now. And then with Atlanta, we actually worked with them. We had the privilege of producing the Wubble season out in Bradenton, Florida last year. So the entire season, all 12 teams we had contacts with, we worked with, and we really focused on, creating a home court advantage for each of those teams out in the Wubble. So as part of that, worked with the Dream. And I think they were just really impressed with how we put things together, how we themed things, and how we really were hyper focused on Atlanta soundtracking and that type of stuff to kind of make their games different. So that kind of conversation, I guess, just carried on after the 2020 season, right. And then into this season where we took over as the official presentation partner of the Atlanta Dream. So I've been out there a lot, really just kind of getting it set up. They're in a new building, like you said, in 2020, they were planning on, moving into a new building at Gateway Center Arena. Here we are in 2021 now doing that for them. So that's been part of the transition, but it's been great. Honestly, it's a great venue. It doesn't have all like kind of the bells and whistles of some of these new modern arenas, but it's a very good fit for the Atlanta Dream and what we're doing and what they're growing into. I'm pretty happy with how the season's been going. I mean, it's been a fun project, a lot of work, but I think we've put together a really good presentation so far for them.
So Wubble season was a year ago, which is crazy to say. Fast forward to 2021, and you're on site at times in Atlanta. You mentioned you're traveling to some of those games. When fans go to those games at Gateway Center Arena in their quote unquote first season now, what do they expect to see, or what are they experiencing in terms of in-venue elements, video board material, prompts, and stuff that you guys are helping the Dream create?
Yeah, well, it's evolving, as you know, with protocols and what we're allowed to do. So right out of the gates, I think a lot of people in my position were kind of faced with these challenges of like, how do we entertain fans? Because whether you have one fan in the building or 20,000 fans in the building, right, you still have to program, you still have to script and build graphics and come up with a presentation for the show. Even in the Wubble, we didn't have fans when we were doing that. To a certain degree for the players. Obviously we didn't have the pregame shows, but all the other elements went into those shows. And so right now in Atlanta, it's starting to loosen up. So actually this past week, we just had our first performances. Okay. Both a national anthem performance, which the Atlanta Women's Choir came out and sang for us. And then we had, it was part of Pride Night. So we had a storytime cabaret out on the court. Obviously they had to be fully vaxxed and there's a lot of logistics on the front end that go into planning these type of things now.
Right.
But it was great, honestly. As soon as the performers hit the floor, the crowd just erupted. I think it's been so long since they've seen that type of stuff, and
Right.
so I think the energy was obviously met. I think the performers were thrilled to be out there and kind of getting back to normalcy to a degree. But for the most part, I mean, early in the season, we were really attacking the show with a lot of fan cams. So we hold a lot of brainstorms at 3-point. Obviously, controlling the 3 different teams, we hold a lot of brainstorms for ideas that can, apply in various markets, or we can kind of refresh and bring to different markets and stuff. So again, a lot of fan cams. I think some of the popular ones out in Atlanta specifically are like the DJ cam,
Right.
Rookie card cam we started this year. At Pride Game we did the Love Cam. We've had the Flex Cam. Just a lot of fan cams. Our MCs are kind of limited to where they can be as well. Obviously, no encore contests or anything like that. So we're doing a lot with them. A lot of interacting with the crowd through them, giving the crowd a voice to pick music and things like that. So just kind of working with what we have.
Right. We're slowly getting back to fans being part of the show, but like you mentioned, there's still some that are still waiting to come back. So you haven't tapped in the full potential yet. So that's still exciting to see. Hopefully near the end.
I think we're about to hit this the Olympic All-Star break. Yeah. And I think by the time we get back, we have one more game, I think on the 11th of July. After that, we have over a month of planning and regulation changes. So I'm sure by the time the season comes back to us, we'll be in a place where a lot of that stuff is happening, and we're able to entertain the fans with more on the court and get a little bit closer to them, and a little bit more towards normalcy, I guess.
Right. That's good to hear. Awesome. So Matt, this part of the program, I'm sure you mentioned you've watched a couple of these, but we always ask, shout out to some team members, whether it's from your crew at 3-Point or the people that you're working with at Atlanta Dream. You guys are putting on something remarkable, even as we're still getting out of the pandemic. Who do you want to give shout outs to, or just in general, how proud you are of everyone working on this program?
Well, I'm gonna keep this Atlanta Dream focus for this one. Right. I'll let the other guys talking about the other teams give their shout outs to the groups they've been working with. But again, I mean, jumping in here, getting to know, a lot of these people really for the first time. I mean, our network is really strong in the league, but I had never worked with, the MCs, the host, and the DJ out in Atlanta. So I just want to give them a shout out because it's come together so quickly. We had half of a preseason game to work with. It became kind of an exhibition game. So they ran the first half like a preseason game, and then the second half kind of became like an informal scrimmage. So we didn't have a ton of time to practice together or really develop a lot of chemistry. So just give a shout out to Bria Janelle and Ed Long, the 2 hosts out there. I think they keep the energy so high on game nights. And kind of a cool quick story about Bria. She actually used to intern with the Atlanta Dream back in my first season directing with the Storm when they met in the finals back in like 2010.
Right.
So she was an intern back then, had left the Dream and kind of kept her eye on the team and still was a fan of stuff. And then, coming back now, 2021, she's now a host for the team. And it's just kind of a cool full circle story there for her. And we're actually producing the All-Star game this year in Vegas, and she will be one of the hosts out at All-Star. That's how impressed I've been with her this year. So Bria, Ed are both super awesome. Their PA announcer, Chris Marks, he probably has more energy than most PA announcers. You'll probably see him dancing down at the table throughout the course of the game. He's a great personality, just adds a great character to the game. Vaughn, who keeps us organized. Brianna, DJ Mohawk, who really brings it every night with the Atlanta flavor, and has really developed a hell of a soundtrack for us, and keeps us jamming out every night. I mean, honestly, like we made, I would say one thing we do at 3-Point is we really do attack the soundtrack into great detail. Whether it's player stings or variation of player stings for different scenarios or situations, we get really granular into that stuff and really try to theme it, and make it special. And he's honestly just kept up with every step of the way. So big shout out to DJ Mohawk, Jason, Justin in the control room. You guys hold us down as well. And then Brian is our game director, who's going to start taking over most of the games. He's just freshly back from Kigali, Africa. He just launched the Basketball Africa League, and Jake Cole was out there playing and all that. So now he's back in Atlanta. He's kind of starting to transition into the role and take over there. But yeah, big shout out to everybody out in Atlanta doing their thing. It's been an awesome, fun season, and once more and more people can come out and experience this game, I have a feeling we're going to be selling out that place pretty regularly.
I'm sure I could say this for you, but working with people that are passionate for what they do makes your job easier.
Oh,
you guys are making their job easier.
Yep.
So
absolutely, yeah, and it's a great group. Honestly, like everybody like looks out for each other. It's very like team environment. We have this kind of pregame cheer that we do that gets everybody kind of going. And in fact, we did it last game, and Kennedy Carter had come out and started shooting free throws, and like we did the cheer. We do it really loud. I mean, we really kind of get into it. We did it up in the concourse, and she like stopped what she was doing and like looked it up. I was like, "What the heck was that?" Yeah,
fans are in early. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we have fun out there, honestly, and I think it's a reflection of what you would experience. I mean, we have fun in our rehearsals. We know what the objective is, to entertain people on kind of their day off or time off or leading into their weekend or whatever it might be. So we have fun with it and keep it pretty entertaining for the folks. And honestly, we've done a good job of really highlighting Atlanta culture. I know that was a big thing. There was a big transition, obviously, from the ownership group previously to the new ownership group. And my last shout out, I guess, if I can throw one more out, will be to the new ownership of the Dream, who've really reinvigorated the team, really given us a lot of creative freedom to allow us to kind of enhance the fan presentation and game experience and stuff. So yeah, big shout out to them who are making, Renee Montgomery, Suzanne, Larry, the whole crew. You guys are making huge waves and honestly changing the world for the better. So big appreciation for that as well.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thanks for coming. Thanks for taking some time to chat. Really cool to see what you guys are doing. A little peek behind the curtain. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the All-Star break and the Olympic break. I'm sure you guys deserve a little bit better break after the last year that you guys have been through. But hope to meet you in person and enjoy the rest of the season, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. You should make it out to All-Star. We'll do it big in Vegas.